Okay, today we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equations by factoring. Again, this will go into what we did last chapter. So factored form, an equation is in factored form when it's a product of linear binomials. Basically what we want to get is we want to get two things being multiplied by each other. And whenever we factor something, we have two parentheses that are being multiplied by each other, just like we have here. X plus 2 times x minus 4. Zero product property states kind of what should make sense, that the only way for me to get 0 when I multiply two numbers together is if one of the numbers is 0. So if I have x plus 2 times x minus 4 equals 0, then x plus 2 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0, one of the two. Another thing that we just briefly touched on, solution, root, and 0 are all the same thing to an equation. It's going to be my x-intercept just like we did last section, and I can use those words interchangeably. So what we're going to do this is first thing we're going to do is we're going to separate each of the parentheses or linear binomials, and then we're going to set them equal to 0. So both the things that are being multiplied by each other, I can separate them and then make them both equal to 0. And these will give me my solutions. So for this first one, first thing I'm going to do is, these are the two things being multiplied by each other. I'm going to separate them, go x minus 2 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. When I do that, I add 2 to both sides. Oops. And I get x is equal to 2, and then here I subtract 3 on both sides and get x is equal to negative 3. These give me my two solutions, x equals 2, or x equals negative 3. I can do the same thing with this second one. Even when I have three things being multiplied by each other, zero product property still holds. And so I can do 2x plus 6 equals 0, 3x minus 12 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. Minus a 6 from both sides, 2x equals negative 6, and then divide, x equals negative 3. 3x, again I'm going to add 12 to both sides, x equals 4, divide by 3, and x equals 2, add 2 to both sides. These will be my three solutions. With this next one, again I still have multiplication in between here. So again I have two things being multiplied by each other, so I can still separate them individually. I go x equals 0, and then 4x plus 2 equals 0. So here I've got 4x equals negative 2, and so x is equal to negative 1/2. That's my one solution, and this one is just x equals 2. So those are my two solutions, x is equal to 0 or x is equal to negative 1/2. This other problem, I'm going to erase this. This other problem, again, I would separate these two things, and so I'd have 4 is equal to 0, and then 5x minus 2 is equal to 0 as well. 4x minus 0 doesn't make sense, and it doesn't even have a variable in it, and so it doesn't matter. Whenever there's a constant term on the outside, like this one, whenever I have just a number part on the outside, I don't have to separate that. I don't have to make that equal to 0 because it doesn't change anything. I can then go over here and go 5x equals 2, and x equals 2/5. Here's where it gets a little trickier. Again, I can factor these trinomials. It'll still equal 0, and I can do it the same way that we just did in the last slide. Again, these are the easy ones because I have just a regular one in front of my x squared. I'm going to have different signs. I'm going to have a negative 7 and a positive 2. That's factored form again, two binomials that are being multiplied by each other. And then I can split this up. And so x plus 2 equals 0. X minus 7 equals 0. So my two solutions are x equals negative 2 and x equals positive 7. Oops. With this one over here, again, this is going to be a guess and check. These are both going to be subtraction signs, 2 and 1, and 6 and 3. Again, this is just factoring from what we did last chapter. Then I can split this up into two separate equations. 2x minus 3 equals 0, and x minus 6 equals 0. So I get x is equal to 6, and x is equal to 3 halves. So I'd add the 3 to the other side and then divide by 2. Those would be my two solutions. These, when I don't have them in standard form, I don't have everything over to the same side. First thing I have to do is just move everything over to the same side. So I can go minus 18, minus 18. And just like we did before with when we were graphing to find solutions, so I've got 4x squared minus 21x minus 18 equals 0. Then I can go ahead and factor it. Again, got to guess and check. Different signs. 4 and 1, 6 and 3. My outsides and my insides give me negative 24 plus 3x, and that gives me my negative 21, so that's correct. And then I would go ahead and separate this into two separate problems. 4x plus 3 equals 0, and x minus 6 equals 0. Get my two solutions. This is where we get into something a little tricky. Talking about the area of a photo being 315 square inches. We want to find out what the length of each of the, or the width of the frame is going to be. And so, again, this is going to be my length. This is going to be my width. My formula for area is equal to length times width. So I've got 315 is equal to, and then when I think about my length, I have my x here, and then have my 17, and I have my x here, so I can just add all those together and get 2x plus 17. My width is the same thing. I have x plus 11 plus x. So when I do that, I get 2x plus 11. So again, I can take my length and my width and multiply them by each other. So my length will plug in for my L, my width will plug in for my W. Give myself some room to work here. So when I'm done, I can do my crab claw multiplication, multiply everything out, get it in standard form, and then factor it and find my solutions. So I get 315 is equal to 4x squared plus 22x plus 34x plus 187. Combine my like terms together. 315 is equal to 4x squared plus 56x plus 187. Then I can subtract my 315 to the other side. So I get 0 is equal to 4x squared plus 56x minus 128. Then I can go ahead and factor this. This one actually, to make it easier, I can factor out a 4 from each of these. X squared plus 14x minus 32. So when I factor this, move over here a little bit. 4 stays on the outside, and then I can put my 2 parentheses in here. And these are going to be different signs. Again, I'm factoring what's left in the parentheses here. 2 numbers that multiply to give me 32 add to give me 14. 16 and 2. Then again, I can go ahead and separate this into 2 different equations, making them both equal to 0. So I've got x is equal to negative 16 and x is equal to 2. Thinking about it, x is going to be the width of my frame. A frame that has negative length doesn't make sense, and so x equals 2 will be my final answer. So my width of my frame will be 2 inches. wide. There's my homework.